Krishna Maharaj is not easy, but it is simple. And it is sublime. Sublime means that you can come from any background, whether you have intelligent or no intelligent, you are a man or woman, or a dog eater, or a beef eater, or a pakka brahmana, doesn't matter where you come from. If you can accept it and have faith, you can transcend to spiritual realm in a moment. That's why Krishna consciousness is sublime. It doesn't matter what status you are. Okay. So with all these notes, I'm going to mention you something that I appreciate you all to participate. In 10th Canto, 24th chapter, Lord Krishna's dialogue with his parents and the Brajavasis, he says very sweet verse, Getta agetta cha karmani janayam anutistati vidusam karma siddhi shet jatha na vidusho bhavet. People do things they do, isn't? You go to Janmashtami or any festival or Sunday festival, you go there. You'll find amongst you, somebody will remember, oh, it was a big festival, it was nice. That's all. Everything else kind of like a background. Only thing remembers, it was a nice festival. Then there is another devotee you will find, you will say, oh, I remember she was there, he was there, or that one was there, that one. Oh, there's so many friends, you know, they only remember the people. Someone only remember the events. It was a great events because Gopal Radhe Prabhu was singing so sweet. Some people only remember it was a nice Prasadam festival. Very rarely you will find somebody what was the topics, actually essence of that festival. Very few. Very few. So try to become Rashagrahi. Devotee means Rashagrahi. We want to pick the essential principle of this life, of this study. Not just hovering like, how was the speech, who else was there? Yeah, those are also there, but those are not so much concern. Concern is how it is relevant to me, where I am right now in life. How am I going to apply this in my life? How it will benefit to me? Then when it is practiced or accepted in that way, then you will get the realization. That realization will affect others. If it is only acquired, if you only acquire the information and knowledge and you do not apply, you will never be able to make another person devotee because you are not realized yet. So realization comes from, not from acquiring knowledge only. You have to acquire, you have to hear. Without hearing, it's not possible. You have to hear, you have to read, you have to think, contemplate, but you have to apply. If you do not apply, you have to find a relevant. If you don't find a relevant, there will not be any attraction. And if there is no attraction, there is no attachment. This is from Bhagavad Gita. Krishna gave this scientific reason. What cause and effect, cause and effect. First find a relevant, then you will be attracted, and attraction will cause attachment. Then from that attachment, you will apply. And then it will give you realization. When you get that realization, then you can be happy and also share with others, and it will be effective. They will also feel effect. So without delay, I'll say, Krishna says here in this verse, Getta Getta cha karmani. He says, everybody do things they do. But those who are aware why they are doing things, for whose benefit, what is the purpose, who introduced this, how it is coming from, Krishna gave this very good logic on that sloka. And I'll read the exact translation. Let's see if I The Lord here informs his father that people should perform a particular ceremony or activity only after thoroughly understanding it through discussion with friends. We should not be blind followers of tradition. If a person does not even know what he's doing, how can he be successful in his work? This essentially is the Lord's argument in this verse. Since Sri Krishna, as the young child of Nanda, would naturally be expected to show enthusiasm for his father's religious activities, it was father's duty to give a son through explanation of the ceremony. And, oh, I'm sorry, I was reading the purport of that. And the translation, Prabhupada put in a Krishna book also, when people in this world perform activities, sometimes they understand what they are doing, and sometimes they don't. Now listen this part. Those who know what they are doing, why they are doing, they will achieve success in their work, whereas others will not. So more you contemplate and understand why you are entering into this Bhakti Shastri course, you are convincing, you putting your faith on the word of Prabhupada, and if you have a question, if you have a reflection, you make a note and we can discuss. This way you will be able to contemplate and reflect. Once you do this, then assimilation will come. Once the assimilation comes, you can be anywhere in America with your Japamala, and you can be there for 7 days without disturb of anything needed. That state, Srila Prabhupada says, is compulsory necessary for each devotee, that you are satisfied. That satisfaction is required. When you are satisfied, Brahmabhuta Prashanatma, na sochati na kankshati, samas sarvesu bhuteshu madbhakti lavate param. Pure devotional service began from there. Means your relationship, just like you have a father, mother, husband, wife, and everything, you will also feel Krishna like that. From that point, you can actually develop that relationship. Until that, it looks like a not solid, substantial. Looks like it's a good idea. We are part of Krishna, we are servant of Krishna, we have a relationship, but you cannot feel. You can feel with your spouse or children. You can feel also, but you have to come to that level. How soon can you come? It depends on two things. How sincere, pure is your desire, Prabhupada says, and how intense you are. How desperate you are to get. Prabhupada said intensity and purity. These two things bring the result. Okay. For today, Gopal Radhe Prabhu, we are going till 7, am I right?
Yes, Prabhuji, for you it will be 7, for us it will be 6. That is right.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. Now I'm going to request you all. I'm going to request you all that in order to retain what you learn, did it ever occur to you, gosh, 10 years back I heard a Guru, Jayapataka Maharaj's lecture, so nice. I don't remember, it was so nice, but I don't remember. I don't know, maybe it happened to me. Did it ever happen to anybody, any of you? No, that was so nice last Sunday class. What was it? It was nice. No, but nice what? Just like one devotee said, oh, that was such a good class. I say, what was it? So it was good. I say, I know what part was the good, what that good that affected you. So I give you a little secret here that Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur is busy Parents' Day today. He is one of the genius who actually, I would say, we bow down to his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada offered the Bhagavad Gita. If you open the Bhagavad Gita, you will see it is, he offered the Bhagavad Gita to Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur. And the Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur is such an erudite scholar. If he did not revitalize or fight against this opposition in Jaipur, in front of Jaipur's in Jaipur's court, 4 accusations he had. One was that our sampradaya is not bona fide because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas from a Mayavadi, and we do not have any Vedanta commentary because Srimad Bhagavatam is the Mahaprabhu's recommendations. Srimad Bhagavatam is the most important commentary, simple commentary of Vedanta Sutra. So we do not need separate. And Srimati Radharani's name is not anywhere prominent in Bhagavatam. So why we worship that lady? They didn't even mention that she is. And Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur gives such a nice solid. He was such an erudite scholar. Prabhupada glorified him. Prabhupada felt so affected. In one lecture he said, that's why he offered the whole Bhagavad Gita after Prabhupada wrote to Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur. And Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur gave a very good logic. He gave a logic that come with the point that who is your authority? Is Garga Samhita is bona fide? He said, yes. They all agreed, bona fide. Then said, in Garga Samhita, Garga Muni says that in Brahma Vimohan Lila, Krishna married all the girls. All the girls were married to the coward boys. Who are the coward boys in Brahma Vimohan Lila for 1 year? It was Krishna who expanded. You remember Brahmaji stole the coward boys and Krishna became the coward boys. He placed all the coward boys, and that's the year. And it is documented. So he shown them. They were like dumbstruck. Wow, we missed that sloka from the Garga Samhita. Then he shows the Brahma Vaivarta Puran where Brahmaji married Srimati Radharani to Krishna, and the whole ceremony of wedding ceremony of Radharani to Krishna was manifested, and it is there in Brahma Vaivarta Puran. I looked at the scripture. Those days they didn't have a computer or iPad. They had the books in a bullock cart filled up, and they opened the book and they found it. Then he says that look at this. Who is the Mahalakshmi that you think is legitimate to be next to the Lord? Rukmini Devi? They said yes. So Rukmini Devi has arranged a big meeting with Draupadi and confess that how many times she is trying. They all 16,108 queens tried to allure the Lord to fall in love of their beauty, but somehow they failed. And the doubt came that once in a while Lord utter the name Radhe, Radhe. It's all documented. When they saw this, they said, oh, that's Srimati Radharani. Say yes. And then Gita Govinda, before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Jaidev Goswami writes, Smarala Garala Khandanam Mamasirasi Mandanam Dehi Pada Pallava Mudare. Prabhupada quote that also verse that this is Srimati Radharani, who is the only supreme potency of the absolute truth. They immediately fell at the feet of Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur. They said, please initiate us. We never found a genius scholar like you. You went through all the scriptures. So not only that, there was a many questions, then he established one by one. And today we are peacefully performing. We should appreciate on his disappearance day. And Srila Prabhupada appreciated by offering the Gita. So Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur said 3 things you need to do to retain. One is appreciate the gift you got. No, I'm sorry. Be grateful. Show your grateful attitude to the gift you got. What gift? Did any of you made ISKCON? No. Did any of you wrote the book Nectar of Devotion? No. Did any of you arrange this temple where you are attached? No. So this came as a gift to you. You have to feel genuine feeling to Prabhupada and his ISKCON. You have to really genuinely feel. You have to express that. So first thing is you have to feel great. You have to show grateful attitude towards the gift, the facility that you got. Second, glorify the facilitator. The temple management, Shraddhadev Prabhu, Gopal Radhe Prabhu, they work very hard. I'm sure a lot of devotees, Pracheta Prabhu, they're wonderful devotees, they're all. So whoever organized this, say thank you, Prabhu. Because of your endeavor, we are. Be really from your heart, you feel, you ask yourself, if they didn't organize, would it take place? Probably not. So can we be thankful to them? And the third is, the most important, Baladev Vidyabhushan Thakur said, I want you to write it down on your memory pad. Willingness to learn is a conscious choice, has to come from you. Willingness to advance or understand this bhakti is a conscious choice that each of you have to come forward. If you do these three things, it will retain with you knowledge. It will not disappear. And Prabhupada very nicely also mentioned that in 1.1.6 Bhagavatam, that hearing and explaining is more important than reading. You look at the Bhagavatam and exactly Prabhupada said like this. So I'm also requesting you, I cannot order, you all are my teacher. I'm also student like you. I just pray for me also and bless me so I can speak something important that will benefit to all of us and to myself too. Because when I'm speaking, I'm also listening. I'm also a student just like you. So please, I beg you, please repeat, not the same way I'm saying, but explain what you learned today to your friend, father, mother, younger brother, even nobody is there, baby, or to a deity, somebody, or you did in the temple. Explain what you learned. You will see different changes in your heart when you do this. So without delay, I'll start the Nectar of Devotion today. Where is our book? Now, as I was reading here, Gopal Radhe Prabhu was very kindly sent me all these things, his wonderful devotee. That there are 10 articles, and we have a 9 weeks. Approximately. Am I right? Shraddhadev Prabhu, I didn't get text from you. Till end of July?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So we have 9 weeks, but this week, today is already almost gone. So we'll start from tomorrow counting. I would request you, take your time to read the preface and introduction. Preface and introduction has the foundation. To build a house, foundation is the most important. This is not an introduction, or preface generally tells you what is in the book. That's true. But Prabhupada did not just give introduction just as introduction. he gave the introduction, actually the most essential verse. Anna vilasita sunnam jnana karmadda anabritam anukullana Krishna anushkilanam bhakti uttama. This sloka he invaded like a, what they call parota. You make parota, you mix dal, salt, all kinds of things, and then it blends in like khichdi, and then blends in. So introduction actually blends in with the most essential verse. Only Prabhupada knows why mercifully he blended like this. But I would suggest you, if you really want to ever challenge anyone to, or to show me every pages of any book of Prabhupada, I can show you that sloka, part of the sloka in every pages of Prabhupada. That I challenge. I personally did it myself. And I was talking to Indradumna Maharaj and with Radhanath Maharaj one time also, that actually every pages, because that sloka is in every book of Prabhupada. But he blended in the introduction, the whole sloka so nicely. But we cannot just take it as a, like an English sentence. We have to take it like a seed where the whole nectar devotion will grow. The whole nectar devotion will grow on the base of that introduction sloka. So introductions, the sloka, I'm sure all of you heard that sloka. Anna vilasita sunnam jnana karmadi anabritam. It's also in Bhagavad. See the page. The nectar of instruction also, the nectar of devotion also has that verse. Look at it in your iPad maybe. So then, if you ask me, can you give one sloka that tells everything about bhakti, devotional service? Yes, this is the one sloka. One sloka for Radharani, one sloka for Krishna, one sloka for all the truth. So in Nectar Devotion will give you gist code. Yes, they are called gist code. You can pull out unlimited things from that sloka. You know, like when I was a little boy, I used to eat lozenges. I used to steal even to eat the lozenges. I was so desperate for lozenges. I hope you are familiar with lozenges. In America, we call candy, but it's different lozenges in the village. But the lozenge was so tasty to me that I would hide. I would sleep with the lozenge in my pocket. My mother told me. So this sloka is like that. That anywhere, anytime you are depressed or happy, or you need to talk to someone, or you need to talk about Krishna, this sloka can help you. It's so tasty, that sloka. Please memorize if possible, or at least try to familiar with each word of that sloka. Because tomorrow, I really beg you, read the entire introduction. When you come back, I'll break it down. If I can put a slide, I'll send it to Gopal Radhe Prabhu, and he can send it to you all. And you will be eternally benefited. Even in Golok Vrindavan, everything is based on that sloka. This sloka is by Rupa Goswami Pad. Any Vaishnava anywhere in the entire creation will appreciate. This sloka stands above all other definition of bhakti. So I'm sure you are familiar with that sloka, or you get familiar with it. Anna avila sita sunnam gena karmadi anabritam anukullena Krishna anusilanam bhakti uttama. When you understand that sloka, that tomorrow we'll discuss in details, then you will see the next chapter 1 of Nectar Devotion. Everybody has the handbook. You have the handbook? Okay. And in the handbook, you can see the first page. I believe this is the first page. Yes. First page has that unit topics, Nectar Devotion. First is the introduction. The introduction has the secret sloka. And then when you practice the introduction sloka, then these are the next first chapter, 6 result will come. in this body, you will get 2 results. And then you will get another 2 results. And then you will get the 2 results in next life, where you will meet Krishna face to face. So 6 results are divided like this. Then chapter 2 to 4, it says sadhan bhakti. And then chapter 5, independent nature of pure devotional service. Chapter 6 to 8, 20 pages. That tells you how to discharge devotional service. And chapter 9 to 10, devotional principles. Are you catching? There's 2 things when you will lead your life in Krishna consciousness. You have a devotional principles and you have a spiritual insight. These 2 things are the 2 feet that you're going to walk. You have a devotional principles, means all the rules, regulation, why it is given, for who, when, all this. And how you apply and what will be your result, this will be spiritual insight. So these 2 things has to go side by side. So you're going to learn how to challenge the how to face the standard challenges. You learn how to face the standard challenges with these 2 principles, the devotional principle and spiritual insight. These 2 has to be side by side as you progress each day. And spiritual knowledge, spiritual discussion does not end by the end of the class as at 6 o'clock of your time. Because spiritual knowledge, just like a soul is eternal, spiritual knowledge also eternal. Narad Muni told to Vyasdev, because Vyasdev asked, how do you remember everything? Then he says, the spiritual knowledge and like a spiritual consciousness, conscious being, just like we are eternal, the spiritual knowledge is eternal. Once you acquire in your heart and you appreciate the facilitator, you appreciate the gift, and you are willing to adore it, then it will stay in the heart and you can keep it eternally in your heart. Yeah. Okay, this Prabhu saying in Bhagavad Gita 7.16, in the purport you will find that sloka. Nectar of Devotion is full of that sloka. The whole Nectar of Devotion began with that sloka. It's also in Chaitanya Charitamrita. That verse, if you click on that, 7.16 Bhagavad Gita in the purport. Anna Vilasita Shunyam. This is a 1 verse, everything about devotional service. Okay. Now we go to devotional principle, chapter 9 to 10, and then chapter 11 to 14, aspect of transcendental service. And then chapter 15 to 16, Raganuga Bhakti. And chapter 17 to 19, love of Godhead. If you get overwhelmed, you may feel sad. What is happening? Oh, good. He already put it up there. Between the beginning and the end result, Srila Prabhupada gives a good clue. I'm sure you all had experience of learning mridanga or harmonium. When you learn mridanga and someone, I saw a little boy, he's like banging, You really tolerate 10 minutes. After half an hour, you feel like, oh gosh, can you stop now? It's like, because there is no rhythm. There is no melody sweet. He's just learning. But if he keeps on practicing, what happened? One day he becomes so good, that same boy, when he plays as an expert Mridanga player, it's very sweet, isn't? So in bhakti is like this. In the beginning, it's rough, tough. Gosh, how much I have to remember, how much I have to focus. But once you grasp it, it becomes tasty. It's become tasty. Without delay, I'm going to establish the Supreme Bhakti's position. Every day we will give one example, but today I'm going to give one sloka Rupa Goswami Pad writes in Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Prabhupada put this different part of it. You probably heard that sloka, but this is something you can keep it in your safe deposit box. It's as a great wealth. The verse goes, Brahmananda bhavetesha cheta prarartha gunikrita naitam bhakti sukham bodhe paramanna tullamapi. Do you know the highest happiness of this world? Anybody ever experienced highest happiness of this world? In order to experience the highest happiness of the world, you need 7 things within you. You heard this, I speak sometime about it. That verse explains that in order to know what is the highest happiness as a human being right now in this planet, would you be interested to know what is the highest happiness as a human being? Rupa Goswami Pad gives this. He says, first of all, you have to be the only ruler of the world. But he was not impractical, because Yudhishthira Maharaj was the ruler of the world. King Parikshit was the ruler of the world. Chitraketu was the ruler of the world. Many. From that experience, he is telling them, you have to be the number one, only ruler of the world. Second, entire family, all the ministers, all the commander-chief are in love with you. They love you, they adore you as the best king. Third, you don't have any enemy. You killed all the enemy. Fourth, you have enough treasury in your Shraddhadev Prabhu's bank balance that anytime you can tell the treasurer, pull out $1 million for this. It is there. You have to have that much wealth. How many did I say? 4 or 5? 4. 5. Then 4. He's showing 5. 5. You have to be expert in Veda. If there is a disaster like a virus, coronavirus, you can engage the Brahmanas with mantra that they will destroy it. Or if there is a tremendous rain or earthquake or some disaster, natural calamities, you can engage the Brahmanas to counter it. But you have to be expert, knowing that, how to do it. How many we got? 6, 7, 6. Now you have 2 more left. You know, don't take it wrong way, but I found the Hare Krishna people are not expert sense enjoyers. They lost the taste of it. Even though it appears like they are enjoying, but they're not really good. In order to enjoy good, Prabhupada writes in 5th canto, the demons are better than demigod even. Because demigod planet, they get afraid, you know, the attack of the demons. But the demon planet, nobody attacks. Except the Sudarshan Chakra comes and kills. But they don't know when it is coming. There is no calendar or age. Because nobody grows old there. No wrinkles. You don't have to die. Nobody has a bald head. Everybody has a full-grown youth life. Nobody is born as a child. Nobody has a wrinkle. Everybody is young. It's in 5th canto, you can read. But point is, I still ask the devotees, what do you think? What 2 more things you need to enjoy experience of the human body right now in New Orleans or in America? You have already these 5 things I mentioned. You are the only ruler. You have no competition. You have enough wealth. You know you are big expert in. So you have all these 5 things. 2 more things. Anybody has idea? You need a long, stout, what they call macho body with a long life. Yes or no? And the last thing, what else? Let's see if there is any enjoyer in Hare Krishna community. Because if you don't have an idea, you cannot even enjoy. Okay, I give up. Nobody is raising hand. Tremendous desire to enjoy like anything. You may have all these things, but if you don't have a desire, strong desire to enjoy, then what good is it? So Rupa Goswami Pad says, when you have all these 7 things, then you know what is the highest happiness as a human being. You multiply 100 times of that enjoyment, you will know what they enjoy in Pitri Loka Ananda, means forefather planet. You multiply 100 times of Pitri Lokananda, then you will know what the demigods enjoy. Can you imagine the enjoyment demigod has? Unbelievable. You multiply 100 times more, then you will know what is Prajapati's, Brahmaji enjoying happiness. You multiply 100 times more, then you will know Brahmananda Bhavedesha Cheta Pradikita Naitam Bhakti Sukambade Paramanya Tulamopi. Srila Prabhupada translate that verse. 1,000 trillion times you multiply that Ananda. It is what pure bhakti will make you, drown you into ecstasy in spiritual world. Do you want it? Come on, be excited. Thank you. This is our goal. This is Nectar of Devotion gives. 1,000 trillion times more happiness than what Brahmananda, which is 100 times more than what is Brahmaji is enjoying, 100 times more than what demigods are enjoying, 100 times more than Lokananda, and 100 times more of this human who had these 7 things. So to go to spiritual world and dive into that ocean of happiness, why it should be cheap? Makes sense? But it is cheap. Mahaprabhu made it. First, what we are going to do in the Nectar of Devotion in the beginning, we want to come to the door of bhakti. Before you enter to somebody's house, where do you go? You come to the door. Don't go through the window or try to break the wall. It's a little foolish idea. Generally, nobody goes through that. I hope not. Maybe thief. But that's not a proper, and they will be thrown out. So in order to enter into bhakti, we have to come to the door. So door is the Saranagati. So Saranagati will be explained here throughout the book, that when you have a surrender mood, you pray to Guru Krishna, I want to surrender. Do you feel to surrender? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Chodige Ananda Dekhi, when you come to the idea of surrender, you feel happy. But some people are afraid because they do not know what the happiness Rupa Goswami Pad is explaining here. So please be greedy. I don't mean material greedy, spiritual greedy. Because material greed is opposite to grateful attitude. You know, grateful attitude means? Write it down, please. You appreciate what has come to your life, what you have got so far. You be thankful. Thank you, Prabhupada. You to give me this life in Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Rupa Goswami Pad, for giving this nectar devotion. Thank you, GBC or ISKCON Society, for making this facility. This is called grateful attitude. And opposite to it, I don't have this, I want this, I don't have this. This is called material greed. Just the opposite. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, in order to relish it, we have to be in grateful attitude. Now the beginning of preface. Let me see. Srila Prabhupada gives the life of Rupa Goswami Pad, and I am sure everybody heard about Rupa Goswami Pad. There is a beautiful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says, Priya Sarupe Daita Sarupe Prema Sarupe Sahaja Virupe Nija Anurupe Prabhure Karupe Anurupe Sabila Sarupe. This is the glorious verse in 19th chapter Madhya of Rupa Goswami Pad. Who is Rupa Goswami Pad? Srila Prabhupada, I do not know where he got this story, but one lecture Prabhupada says that when Rupa Goswami Pad came to Benares and he was on the other side of the Ganges, he was shocked. Why was he shocked? Did you ever see a person who just ate complete meal? He is so hungry to eat again? No. Generally, you don't see. If somebody ate too much and you bring him chappanna bhog plate of 56 preparation, will he be able to honor that? No, because he's overate. Mayavadis, they are not hungry for bhakti. Because they are God, it's themselves. Mayavadi means four principle. You have to remember, this is also part of Nectar devotion. I'm just giving you a little clue inside. Moksha Lagota Krit, one of the 6 results that we'll see. Moksha Lagota Krit. So, four principle Mayavad use. Who am I? Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. Who are you? Tattamasi. You are the same. What is all about all the people in the world? Sarvam Khalvitam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. So what are you doing? Why are you practicing something? Prajnanam Brahma. I want to become Brahma. Light. This is the whole basic principle. They establish their life. And they defy with 4 counter defeat. When we come to that chapter, we'll discuss that. So, did somebody raise hand? Am I seeing somebody raised hand? Yes?
I just needed you to repeat the four things you repeated.
Oh.
The Mayavedi.
Aham Brahmasmi. In your spiritual practice, is very interesting. Do you know in the spiritual practice, what is the first thing you should remember? Not, I am, very good. Now I can see everybody. Thank you. Don't think I am servant of Krishna is the first thing. That's all I thought, you know. It's almost 43 years in this movement. I always thought servant of Krishna is the first definition. But actually, if you want to progress, first thing Prabhupada says, very nice. First, you think, I am the spirit, not this body. You probably heard this Prabhupada smashing. You are not this body, you are not this body. There is a reason. First, you separate yourself from this world. You are product of your own decision, conscious being. So first thing you think, I'm spirit, means not product of this earthly world, not product of New Orleans or America or this world. Second, you are servant of Krishna. If you go first as a servant of Krishna, you identify with the body, mind, everything, servant. That distinction has to be there. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu deals with the consciousness, does not deal with the body or mind. Body and mind is there with us. What can we do? To purify the mind, that's what the practice is. Janatena prakarena mano Krishna niveshet. If you purify the mind, you're done. You can instantly be liberated. But by saying it is not going to work. Just like I give an example of you probably heard that example about one teacher gave a gallon of milk to the student. He said, do you believe there is a butter in the milk? And the student says, one student says no, one student says yes. So then the other student says, show me the butter. The teacher says, show me the butter. So, well, it cannot be shown unless the milk goes through a process. So when it goes through a process, you'll see the butter came out from that milk. So milk had the butter, but it's required intelligence to see it, isn't? Similarly, when we think we are spirit, we are separating the body and the mind separately from me. Then you can identify the mind. If you cannot identify your own mind, how are you going to discipline the mind? Most of the people, 99.9% people, they recognize mind as the self, is the worst thing, including me. One time in my business, many years back, I remember about 25, maybe 30 years back, some merchant says, I don't like Indians. And I was thinking, like, okay, I'm the spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna. But my mind is like, say, oh, hey, he's not a good guy. Why he said this? Why he said this? And it was like I went by, and every time I would pass by his booth, it would just reflect immediately. He doesn't like Indian. But I'm talking to myself, but I'm not Indian. I'm not this body. But mind doesn't let me go. No, you are Indian. Come on, he doesn't like Indian. It's not really a joke, it's the truth. Majority people, 99.9% people identify self as a body or the mind, what they think. So in the beginning, you have to separate yourself. How do you separate yourself? By sadhana. If you do not chant just by hearing this philosophy, it will not work. This philosophy only works when you apply it. Then the realization will come. You can actually separate. Your mind is dictating you that was wrong, but you will not react. But if you cannot separate, just like I'm telling you in 1 minute, because this is essential to me, to us, because I come from like atheist background, looks like. Maybe last life I was a big demon, atheist, maybe. By you all mercy, some or other, you allowed me to come and serve. So that was a good thing. Because sometimes I think very deeply that how this consciousness, Chetan, who am I? Thinking, willing, feeling. These three things are the quality of the soul, consciousness. Consciousness is the quality of the conscious being. You are a conscious being. We are not just consciousness. Consciousness is a Shakta idea. I do a lot of preaching here. I went to this prison ministry husband and wife, both are Christian minister. And I had a nice discussion, and I asked them, so who are you? Who is God? Is it a matter or a spirit? So, oh, spirit. I said, okay, is the spirit limited by the body or it is beyond the body? He said, well, God doesn't have a body like us. I said, that's true. But God has a body or no body at all. And what is body made of? Is the spirit has a preference, has a personality, has a quality, characteristics? And I remember her name was Nicole Roy. She's a good friend, but she's a minister, Christian minister for the prison here. She said, we don't discuss that depth about it. I said, but what is your idea about spirit, about God? He's a spirit, but that spirit does not have a preference? I don't think so. Does not have a personality? I don't think so. I said, then you are a worshipper of Shakta, energy worshipper. It's incomplete because energy does not exist by its own right. Energy exists by the energetic power. And amongst us, the human being in the earthly planet, there are many religions, majority. When you come to philosophical understanding, mostly are atheists in the name of religion. And that's the scary part. Because they do not understand the religion. Religion, you have to think like this: bhakti is a nitya dharma. Think of an object, like an example of water. Everybody knows water. In Bengal, I don't know if you heard it, Bengal, they call Jaler Dharma Taralata. The dharma, the nature of the water is liquidity. Have you seen any fire that doesn't burn? Which fire burns? American fire or Indian fire? All fires. Why? Because the quality, the nature of fire is to burn. Can you separate burning quality from the fire? No, it is not possible. So, where this burning quality coming from? From the structure. From the structure, you have to remember, from the structure of the fire elements, how it is formed. Structure is very important. Ghaton, in Bengal, Sanskrit, it's called ghaton. Because ghaton produces the nature of a substance. Just like, for an example, diamond and graphite. You know, I was a gemologist. I graduated geologist and gemologist before. So in the gemology explanation, the difference between graphites and diamond, both are essential elements is carbon. Carbon, C. But the graphite, when you write something, the graphite drops. But when you put the diamond on top of another surface, it cuts. Why? Both are made of carbon, but has a two different nature. Do you know? Structure. From the structure, how it is formed. So Maya is Krishna's energy. We are also Krishna's energy, but we are not same, even though both are energy. Internal energy, jiva energy, all this energy, Krishna has unlimited energy, but each energy, how it is formed, produces its own nature. How we are gotten, how we are formed, how we are structured. That nature is inseparable from its own origin. So the nature of the soul is pure love, prem. That you cannot separate. Jiva sukhanisi, pleasure seeking by nature, jiva, you can never separate the pleasure, happiness. You understand pleasure? Pleasure is not necessity. Like every day you can eat dal chapati, you will be healthy. But why are you looking for gulab jamun or pizza or all this? Because you want pleasure. It is a natural for a soul. So this pleasure seeking by nature, jivas, the ghatan, the structure gives the nature as love. Feeling loved and offering love is inseparable from jiva's origin construction. This is Rupa Goswami Pad's beautiful explanation on the introduction. Tomorrow we'll discuss more, but this is very important. Second is that jiva has three things. One is position. Jivera Sarubhai Krishnara Nitya Das. So what is the position of jiva? Krishna Nitya Das, servant of Krishna. But what is the prakriti svabhav? What is your nature? Prem. That you cannot separate. And what is your vritti or occupation? Service. These three things are eternal. These three things are eternal. And with the Lord, these three things established is called relationship. Through our service, through our identity, through our nature. We serve the Lord with this body, mind, and the word, engaging these three elements. Okay. I think that's enough philosophy for beginning of today. I'm going to give you a little idea about Rupa Goswami Pad. I don't know if you knew Rupa Goswami Pad was a brahmachari or grihastha. Anybody knows brahmachari or grihastha?
Grihastha?
Very good. Rupa Goswami Pad was a grihastha because one devotee actually wrote it on the class message. He said, "Oh, I thought Rupa Goswami Pad was never mentioned his wife or anybody." I said, "No, he was a grihastha." There is a sloka in Madhya-lila, chapter 19, 135. You can see Rupa Goswami Pad was a grihastha. He was not a sannyasi, but until he came in contact with Mahaprabhu, then he took this path. Rupa Goswami Pad is very intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Intimate associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First of all, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That explanation you all are aware of it, I'm sure. Jad Advaita Brahmopanishadi Tadupashya Tanubha Ja Atmantarjami Purusha Sahasangsa Vibhava Sharaishwarja Purna Bhagavan Ja Sayamayam Na Chaitanya Krishna Jagati Paratatta Paramiha. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is all pervasive Brahman, all that includes you, me, the New Orleans, Florida, the entire creation. This is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are in his stomach right now, inside the stomach of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. At the same time, he is also outside. This is the Antarbahir Avastitam. Alaksham Sarva Bhutanam Antarbahir Avastitam. Always we should be fearless that Mahaprabhu always with us. We are never separated. But what we are trying to do then? What do we need to learn? We need to learn to face him. How did you come to this conditional state? In the beginning, Prabhupada gave a very nice answer to that. That Vayam ditya abhiniveshatasya ishat apetasya viparjaya asmriti. When you misuse free will, you turn away from the Lord, and then you lost your relationship. You forgot your relationship. In the airplane, the pilot, one of the pilot, there are two pilots in that airplane, and one pilot came to Prabhupada's, next to Prabhupada's seat, and there was empty seat, and he sat down and he started talking with Prabhupada, and he asked, why there is so many evil spirit, why so many wrong thing in this world? Srila Prabhupada says, because forgetting God. He said, but so many bad people. He said, yes, because they are turned away from God. Then Prabhupada gave a very nice example to that pilot. He says, when you turn away from the sun, what do you see? Your own shadow. When you look at the light, can you see your shadow? No. When you see your shadow, when you turn away from it. Similarly, when you turn away from God, you see the Maya and all the problem. So Krishna consciousness purpose is to focus our mind, intelligence, the soul itself towards Krishna. Then Prabhupada said that verse that when you turn away from Krishna, then your relationship is forgotten. Then your focus went to a world which looks like not connected with God. That is called secondary world. And that is the birthplace of, do you know birthplace of that world? Fear. So more we focus towards Krishna, fear disappears. Bhayam ditya viniveshatasya ishat apitasya viparjaya smriti. Tanmayaya, and this is called Maya. Buddha abhajit. But then you need some intelligence to Tanmayaya. Then you need intelligence, and with the intelligence, under guidance of Guru, you worship the Isha, Bhagavan, and respecting Guru as ultimate object of worship for you, who is a representative of Krishna. If you have a strong faith on your Guru, strong faith on Prabhupada, then you will progress faster. The Rupa Goswami Pad explanation, I'm going to give you some synopsis that we have to remember, not necessarily everybody is very close to your Guru, understand your Guru. We see even Srila Prabhupada's time. There are some devotees who were very close to Prabhupada, could not grasp completely or did a lot of service compared to those who did not spend so much time but carried on his word and instruction. Rupa Goswami Pad did not travel and spend time with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. First of all, in his 48 years, 24 years, he did not have any direct perception, but there was a communication, some letter. After 24 years, then Mahaprabhu took sannyas. On the third year on the tour, he came and met. That was the first meeting at Ramkeli, Rupa Sanatan. So then question comes that how close Rupa Goswami Pad was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the most intimate circle. There is a big circle in Chaitanya Charitamrita gives. There is a different circle of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associate. Those who are closest circle, Rupa Goswami Pad was the member of the closest circle. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam, when that Rupa Goswami Pad went to Benaras and saw how Mahaprabhu actually delivered all those Mayavadis who did not believe God as a person, who did not believe God's form is eternal, who did not believe God has an eternal abode, who did not believe God's relationship with every living entity is eternal, he made them, transformed them, completely believing in this by his affection and mercy, and by his darshan also. Prabhupada writes, two ways you can have darshan of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can have a direct perception or just by hearing about him. You will get the same effect, provided you accept it to your heart, and then you will experience this. So Rupa Goswami Pad met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Prayag, and then he went to Vrindavan, then he on the way, he came back, and he came back from Jagannath Puri, from Vrindavan to Bengal. He lost his brother Anupam, and then he came to Jagannath Puri. When he came to Jagannath Puri, these confidential topics, nectar of devotion, was taught by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami Pad. He got the instruction before, but he did not write it down. But he wrote it down. After this, he made notes on shalpata, shal leaf. And the whole exploration took place. And then he put it down nicely in Vrindavan with the title of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And Jiva Goswami Pad edited that and put forward. And Srila Prabhupada is so merciful that he actually made it even more accessible by putting into a word and mixing such a way called nectar of devotion. It's for us. So we'll relish this. Nectar of devotion, when Rupa Goswami Pad writes, we should remember a few things. He did not write as a Rupa Goswami of eternal associate of Lord. He wrote as a sadhaka. Just like you are a sadhaka, I am a sadhaka. As he was experiencing, he was writing what was the experience of bhakti. This Kleshogni that we are going to discuss in few days or week, that these are he experienced himself as a sadhaka, and then he back up this experience as genuine result of bhakti by citing some slokas. So it is not a mental speculation. It was a philosophical exploration. I'm sure everybody understands what's the difference between philosophical speculation and mental speculation, right? Mental speculation will take you to hell or offense. Philosophical speculation will take you to Krishna and devotion. You cannot give up speculation because mind will be hunching you. And 14th chapter Bhagavad Gita, first verse, in the beginning Prabhupada write like this, that if somebody understand this chapter through philosophical speculation, you will come to Krishna, devotion. You cannot give up speculation, but do not. I give you an example. Hridayananda Maharaj asked Prabhupada, what is the difference on this? Some of you may think like, gosh, there's so much information. Oh my God, do I really need to know all this? It's like overloaded. I'm getting like a pregnant, like a big tummy, you know? And yes, Prabhupada says that you get impregnated with this information and then the baby will come out. It's called love of God. All your pregnancy will come down as a tears for God. Srila Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita purport that tears will come when you understand this philosophy well. That tears will liberate you instantly from the material world. until the tears come for God. It's a question whether you're liberated or not, whether I'm liberated or not. Affection has to come for the Lord. It is natural. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his exploration of writing this